back again, students, to another video. So for this video, we'll have solving quadratic equations by completing the square. So kung hindi nyo pa napanood yung first two methods in solving quadratic equations, which are extracting the square roots and factoring, so yung mga link nila is nasa description. So let's start. So our lesson objective is solving quadratic equations by completing the square. So before we proceed to our main discussion, let's have a short review. Supply the missing term to make each of the following a perfect square trinomial. So number 1, what must be added to x squared plus 8x to make it a perfect square trinomial? So yung process na gagawin natin dito is ganito lang. So kukunin natin yung numerical coefficient ng x, which is 8. And then itong 8 na to, i-divide natin siya sa 2. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then, itong naging quotient natin na 4, i-square lang natin. So, 4 times 4, or 4 squared, that is 16. So, 16 ang hinahanap nating term. So, and then, ifa-factor natin yung x squared plus 8x plus 16 para makita or ma-verify na isa siyang perfect square trinomial. Paano yon? So, yung first term natin na x squared, tsaka yung last term natin na 16 is extract lang natin yung square root. So, what is the square root of x squared? That is x. And then, copy the sign of the middle term, which is plus. And then, square root of 16, that is 4. And then, square. So, para malaman kung makukuha yung middle term na 8x, ang gagawin lang natin is twice the product of the first and last term, that is x times 4, 4x, times 2, 8x. Now, let's now move on to number 2. Y squared minus 18y plus blank. So, again, negative 18 divided by 2, that is negative 9. And then, negative 9, square natin siya. Negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 81. Okay. So, ang factored form ng y squared minus 18y plus 81 ay y minus 9 squared. So, let's have number 3. A squared minus 11a plus blank. So, yung mga previous given natin, ang middle term nila ay even number. So, dito naman, ang middle term natin ay odd number. So, anyway, yung process niya, ganun pa din. Negative 11 divided by 2 is equal to negative 11 over 2. Now, negative 11 over 2, i-square natin siya. That will become negative 11 times negative 11, that is 121. 2 raised to 2, that is 4. Reminder, kapag ang negative, number man siya, fraction, integer, ni-raise natin to the second power, ang resulting sign niya is always positive. So, 121 over 4, yun yung missing term. Now, what is the factored form of this given? That is a minus, what is the square root of 121? 11. Square root of 4 is 2. So, this is the factored form. Last but not the least, so, yung ating middle term naman is a fraction. So, 1/2 divided by 2. So, itong ating divisor is i-reciprocal natin. And then, magpuproceed tayo sa multiplication. Magiging 1/2 times 1/2. And that is 1/4. Now, 1/4 i-square natin, that is 1 over 16. So, yun yung missing term natin. And then, what about the factored form? That will become b plus the square root of 1, 1. The square root of 16 is 4. So, b plus 1, the quantity of b plus 1/4 squared. Solving quadratic equations by completing the square. There are quadratic equations that are not factorable. With this, completing the square method is applicable to use. Although, we can also use this method if the equation is factorable. So, kapag may mga fina-factor tayo na quadratic equations na hindi natin ma-factor using extracting the square roots and factoring, so sinasuggest na gamitin ang completing the square. For example, meron tayong given equation na factorable naman siya using extracting the square roots or factoring. So, pwede rin natin gamitin yung completing the square. So, hindi lang naman limited yung gamit ng completing the square sa mga not factorable. Pwede rin sila sa factorable equations. So, here are the steps in finding the roots of the quadratic equation by completing the square. So, ipipresent ko muna sa inyo yung mga steps. Tapos, magbibigay ako ng example. So, the first step, if the coefficient of x squared is 1, then proceed to the second step. If not, divide the whole equation by the coefficient of x squared. So, for example, ang given equation natin, ang coefficient ng x squared ay 1 daw. So, we don't need to divide the whole equation by 1 kasi yun lang din naman ang magiging sagot. Kapag naman ang ating coefficient ay 2, halimbawa 3, 4, so kailangan nating i-divide yung whole equation kung ano man yung coefficient ng x squared. Next, group all terms with variable on the left side and terms without the variable on the right side. So, ibig sabihin, lahat daw ng mga may variable nasa left side and then lahat ng mga constant terms na wala, ayun, yung mga walang variable nasa right side. Ibig sabihin, kapag nilipat natin yung constant term o yung term na walang variable sa right side, mag-change yung sign. So, our third step, add the square of 1/2 of the coefficient of x on both sides of the resulting equation. The left side of the equation becomes a perfect square trinomial. So, kung matatandaan yung kaninang review natin bago tayo mag-start sa discussion, meron tayong activity na isusupply yung missing term to make each of the following expression a perfect square trinomial. So, ganun din naman yung steps. Kaya lang dito kapag nag-add tayo dun sa left side, halimbawa nag-add tayo ng 2, mag-a-add din tayo dun sa right side. So, kung ano ang in-add natin sa left side, ganun din ang i-add sa right side. Next, factor the resulting perfect square trinomial and write it as a square of binomial. So, halimbawa, y squared plus 2y plus 1. So, ito yung perfect square trinomial. Pag sinabi niyang isulat natin in the form of square of binomial, magiging ganito siya. Y plus 1 tapos squared. So, yung kagaya ng kanina. So, our last step will be use the square root property to solve for the value of x. So, let's have example number 1. Identify the roots of x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So, the first step will be, so, i-write lang natin, x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And then, lahat ng walang variable na terms nasa right side. So, magiging ganito, x squared minus 4x. So, since this is positive, para matanggal siya dito, magsusubtract tayo ng negative. So, magiging plus 4 minus 4 and then 0 minus 4. So, x squared minus 4x equals negative 4. And then, gagawin nating perfect square, ito. So, kung i-divide natin ang negative 4 sa 2, magiging negative 2. And then, kapag in-square natin ang negative 2, magiging positive 4. So, isusulat natin ganito, x squared minus 4x plus 4. And then, kung anong in-add natin dito sa left side, ganun din ang i-add sa right side. So, x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So, ang gagawin natin next, so, i-express natin yung perfect square trinomial in the form of a square of binomial. So, magiging ganito siya. Square root ng x squared, x. Follow the sign of the middle term, minus, and then the square root of 4, 2. Then, square. equals 0. And then yung next step natin, i-apply natin yung square root property, extract natin yung both sides. Square root ng both sides. So, para matanggal yung squared, itong 2 na to, para matanggal yan. So, ika-cancel natin yan, pati yung 2, pati din dito. Ayan. So, and then, dahil natanggal na yung radical symbol, magiging x minus 2 equals the square root of 0 is 0. Ayan. And then, kunin na natin yung roots. So, x minus 2, mag-add tayo ng 2 to both sides. So, the value of x is 0 plus 2, 2. So, x equals 2. So, let's check. Rewrite the given equation. X squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And then, yung nakuha nating solusyon, dalawa sila, kaya lang, magkapareho sila. 2 equal roots. So, x equals 2. So, isa lang yung substitute natin kasi pareho lang din naman sila na 2. So, x equals 2. 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 4 equals 0. So, ang goal natin dito is 0 equals 0. So, the quantity of 2 squared, 4. Negative 4 times 2, negative 8 plus 4 equals 0. And then, 4 minus 8 is negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. 0 equals 0. So, yung nakuha natin na root na x equals 2 ay tama. Next, let's have example number 2. Find the roots of x squared minus 2x minus 63 equals 0. So, again, we write the given equation. And then, yung negative 63, kailangan mapunta siya sa right side. So, ito na lang para mabilis. X squared minus 2x equals 63. So, yung technique lang naman dito is ilipat natin yung term o yung number. Basta, huwag kakalimutang baguhin yung sign. So, negative 63 naging positive 63. And then, what must be added to x squared minus 2x para maging perfect square trinomial? Negative 2 divided by 2, negative 1. Negative 1 squared, that is positive 1. And then, mag-add ulit tayo ng 1. So, again, nag-add tayo ng 1 dito sa right side din. Next, x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 63 plus 1, that is 64. Now, exchange natin to, express natin na x squared minus 2x plus 1 in the form of a square binomial. Square root of x squared, x. Follow the sign of the middle term, minus square root of 1, 1. And then, square. And then, itong 64, ayan, iwan natin siya dito. 64, copy lang. And then, next na gagawin natin, extract natin yung square root ng both sides. Okay. Now, ito matatanggal. Pati ito. So, x minus 1 equals positive, negative. What is the square root of 64? 8. So, ang sign ng sagot natin ay positive, negative. Dalawa sila lagi. So, and then, magiging ganito siya. X sub 1 equals 8. Itong negative 1, mapupunta sa right side, magiging positive 1. So, x sub 1 equals 8 plus 1, that is 9. And then, yung isang sign naman ang gagamitin natin, negative 8 plus 1. Negative 8 plus 1. So, follow the sign of the bigger value and then proceed to subtraction. 8 minus 1, 7. And then, this is the bigger value, so negative 7. Okay? And then, checking. So, sulat lang natin ulit yung given. X squared minus 2x minus 63 equals 0. And then yung nakuha nating roots, x equals 9, tsaka negative 7. So let's try x equals 9. So 9 squared minus 2 times 9 minus 63 equals 0. 9 squared is 81. Negative 2 times 9, negative 18. Minus 63 equals 0. And then, pagsasamahin natin ang negative 18 and negative 63, that is negative 81. 81 minus 81, that is 0 equals 0. Next, x equals negative 7. Negative 7 squared minus 2 times negative 7 minus 63 equals 0. So, negative 7 squared, that is 49. Negative 2 times negative 7, positive 14, minus 63 equals 0. 49 plus 14 is 63. Minus 63 equals 0. 63 minus 63 equals 0. 0 equals 0. So, our roots are x equals 9 and negative 7. So for example number 3, we have, what are the roots of 2x squared plus 8x equals 24? So ito yung sinasabi natin dun sa step 1. Kapag ang coefficient niya is other than 1, i-divide natin yung whole equation kung ano man yung numerical coefficient ng x squared. So 2x squared plus 8x equals 24. So i-divide natin yung whole equation by 2. Okay, so magiging 2x squared divided by 2, x squared. 8x divided by 2, that is 4x, equals 24 divided by 2, 12. So, hindi na natin kailangan pang ilipat yung constant term sa right kasi nasa right side na siya. So, proceed tayo dun sa perfect square trinomial. So, 4x, 4 divided by 2, that is 2. And then, square of 2, 4. So, x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 12 plus 4. Siyempre, huwag kakalimutan kung anong i-add dito sa left side, ganun din ang i-add sa right side. So, and then, itong x squared plus 4x plus 4 na to, express natin in the form of a square of binomial. Magiging the square root of x squared equals x. Follow the sign of the middle term, and then square root of 4, the last term, 2. And then squared. 12 plus 4 is 16. So, dito ulit. Tapos, subtract natin both sides para matanggal yung squared. Ayan. And then, matatanggal to. Mga radical symbol. Magiging x plus 2 equals positive, negative, the square root of 16, 4. So, x sub 1 muna tayo. 4. So, itong 2 na to, ililipat sa left side, magiging minus 2. X sub 2 naman, negative 4, minus 2. So, x sub 1, 4 minus 2, that is 2. X sub 2 naman, negative 4 minus 2, negative 6. So, ang quadratic equations, ang roots niya is laging dalawa. So, minsan, dalawa sila pero magkatulad. Kagaya ng example number 1. So, check natin yung sagot. So, let's check. Write the equation 2x squared plus 8x equals 24. And then, yung roots na nakuha natin, yung solution, 2 and negative 6. So, x equals 2. Then, 2 times the quantity of 2 squared plus 8 times 2 equals 24. So, 2 times the square of 2, that is 4. 8 times 2, 16, equals 24. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 16. So, equals 24. 8 plus 16 is 24. Equals 24. So, this is correct. For negative 6, 2 times the quantity of negative 6 squared plus 8 times negative 6 equals 24. So, the square of negative 6 is positive 36 plus 8 times negative 6, that is negative 48, equals 24. The product of 2 and 36 is 72 minus 48 equals 24. So, minus natin 72 minus 48, that is 24 equals 24. So, this is also correct. Therefore, the roots of our given equation are 2 and negative 6. Let's have example number 4. Determine the roots of x squared plus 10x plus 18 equals 0. Same steps. Rewrite the equation. Okay. Now, 18, lipat natin sa right side, plus 10x equals negative 18. This is positive 18, it will become negative. And then, gawin natin perfect square trinomial ang x squared plus 10x. So, anong i-add sa kanya? 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 squared, 25. Equals 25. So, and then, express natin ang x squared plus 10x plus 25 in the form of square of binomial. So, x squared, ang square root niya, x, follow the sign of the middle term, and then the square root of 25 is 5. What is 25 minus 18? So, kung mapapansin nyo, inuna kong sinulat yung 25, wala namang nagkaiba yun. So, negative 18 plus 25, 25 minus 18, pareho lang yun. And that is 7. Next. Square root natin silang pareho, extract natin yung ano nila. Ayan. So, magiging x plus 5 equals positive, negative, square root of 7. So, huwag kakalimutang i-cancel yung radical symbol. Okay, and then, itong plus 5 na to, malipat sa kabila, x equals positive, negative, square root of 7 minus 5. So, positive, negative. So, kukunin natin yung roots niya. X sub 1 muna gamit yung positive. Square root of 7 minus 5. So, pwede rin namang isulat ng negative 5 plus square root of 7. And then, x sub 2 equals negative square root of 7 minus 5. Or pwede rin namang negative 5 minus square root of 7. So, kung makikita nyo, yung ano natin, yung mga roots na nakuha natin, hindi sila whole number. So, check natin kung tama ba yung mga naging sagot natin. So, we write the equation, x squared plus 10x plus 18 equals 0. And then, yung mga roots na nakuha natin, square root of 7 minus 5, tsaka negative square root of 7 minus 5. So, dito muna sa square root of 7 minus 5. So, medyo mahaba to. Pero, basta sinundan nyo yung, ano niya, yung process niya, makukuha nyo. So, mahalaga na magkaroon tayo ng checking para ma-verify kung tama yung mga sinagot natin. So hatiin ko para hindi lumagpas. So, write ko na rin yung isang roots natin. Negative square root of 7 minus 5 Then, pasensya na sa mga aso kung naririnig nyo po sa background. So, negative square root of 7 minus 5 squared plus 10 times square root of negative square root of 7 minus 5 plus 18 equals 0. So, bear with my sulat na lang, no? At least, mahalaga na sasabi ko sa inyo kung paano siya i-check. So, ang gagawin natin dito, parang square of binomial. So, square root of 7 squared, tatanggal yung radical. Next, twice the product of the first and second term. So, square root of 7 times negative 5 is negative 5 square root of 7. Tas, twice nga, magiging negative 10 square root of 7. And then, square the last term, that is 25. Plus, to, didistribute natin, 10 times square root of 7, 10 square root of 7. 10 times negative 5, that is negative 50, plus 18 equals 0. And then, combine like terms, itong mga may radical, makakancel kasi same term sila, magkaiba lang ng sign. And then, 7 plus 25 minus 50 plus 18 equals 0. So, 7 plus 25 is 32. Minus 50 plus 18 equals 0. So, 32 tsaka 18, combine natin, 50 minus 50, so equals 0. So, tama yung ating unang roots. Sa pangalawa naman, same pa rin naman yung process niya. Square the first term, nagiging 7. Next, twice the product of the first and second term, nagiging positive 10, square root of 7. Square the last term, 25. And then 10 times negative square root of 7, negative 10 square root of 7. 10 times negative 5, negative 50, plus 18 equals 0. So, and then, makakancel yung mga may radical. Ganun pa rin. 7 plus 25 plus 18. So, shortcut na lang natin para mas mabilis. 50 minus 50 equals 0. So, 0 equals 0 din. So, tama yung ating mga roots na nasa itaas. So, for our last example, we have solve for the roots of 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0. So, again, di-divide natin yung whole equation kung ano man yung numerical niya. Ayan. So, ang numerical coefficient ng x squared ay hindi 1. So, kailangan nga natin siyang i-divide. So, divided by 2. So, magiging x squared plus 7 over 2 x plus 3 over 2 equals 0. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating middle term tsaka last term naging fraction because odd numbers po kasi sila. So, and then, x squared plus 7 over 2 equals, ito, 3 over 2, malilipat sa kabila, magiging negative 3 over 2. So, nakalimutan natin yung x. And then, next na gagawin natin, gawin natin siyang perfect square trinomial. So, x squared plus 7 over 2 x plus, ano ang i-add sa kanya? So, ang mangyayari dito, i-divide natin yung 7 over 2 sa 2. So, kapag dinivide natin ng 7 over 2 sa 2, ang mangyayari, magiging 7 over 2 times 1 half. So, 7 over 4 yon. And then, square ng 7 over 4, 7 times 7, 49, over 4 squared, 16, equals negative 3 over 2 plus 49 over 16. So, ayan. Kukuhanin natin ngayon yung LCD. So, transform muna natin siya in the form of square of binomial. The square root of x squared, that is x. Copy the sign of the middle term. And then the square root of 49 over 16, that is 7 over 4 squared. Equals, so kailangan natin kunin yung LCD nito kasi dissimilar fraction sila. ang LCD ng 16 tsaka 2, of course, 16. So, write natin dito, 16. And then, 16 divided by 2, that is 8, times negative 3, that is negative 24. Next, plus 16 divided by 16, 1 times 49, 49. So, ayun. So, and then, write ulit natin, 7 over 4. So, negative 24 plus 49 over 16, that is positive 25 over 16. And then, square root niya, para matanggal yung squared na to, saka to, positive, negative. So, magiging x plus 7 over 4 equals positive, negative. What is square root of 25 over 16? So, that is 5 over 4. So, kunin natin yung x sub 1. So, x sub 1 magiging 5 over 4 minus 7 over 4 equals negative 2 over 4 or negative 1 half. So, yun yung x sub 1 natin. For x sub 2, so, ginamit natin kanina positive 5 over 4. Ngayon naman, negative 5 over 4 minus 7 over 4. So, same ano lang naman sila. Same denominator. So, negative 5 minus 7, that is negative 12 over 4. So, we can divide negative 12 by 4. That is negative 3. So, check our solution. 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0. So, our roots are x equals negative 1 half and negative 3. So, if x equals negative 1 half, then 2 times negative 1 half squared plus 7 times negative 1 half plus 3 equals 0. So, what is negative 1 half squared? That is 1/4. So, 2 times 1/4. 7 times negative 1 half, negative 7 over 2. Plus 3 equals 0. So, etong 2 na to, pwede nating i-cancel. Saka yung 4, magiging 1 half na lang. Minus 7 over 2 plus 3 equals 0. So, 1 minus 7, 6. Since similar fraction sila, negative 6 over 2. And negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. Plus 3 equals 0. Negative 3 plus 3 equals 0. Let's have negative 3. X equals negative 3. 2 times negative 3 squared plus 7 times negative 3 plus 3 equals 0. 2 times negative 3 squared, that is 9. 7 times negative 3, negative 21. Plus 3 equals 0. So, the product of 2 and 9 is 18. Minus 21 plus 3 equals 0. So, pagsasamahin natin ng 18 tsaka 3. 18 plus 3 is 21. Minus 21 equals 0. So, tama. So, ang ating mga roots ay negative 1 half and negative. So, for our next lesson, so we'll have solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So, kaya hinuli to kasi ito yung medyo nahihirapan yung mga students. So, may formula siya. So, ang problema lang minsan is yung pagsosolve. And then kasi syempre, medyo medyo nakakalito minsan yung pagmumultiply, yung sign, tas meron pa siyang radical. So, naging mahaba tong video na to kasi pinakita ko yung checking niya. So, mahalaga na magkaroon ng checking of solutions para makita na tama yung mga roots, solutions na nakuha. So, sana may natutunan kayo. Maraming salamat.